Alrighty, it is 1:30, so we're going to go ahead and start this webinar. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me on today's webinar on Canada's news media September 2021 filing overview. Before we get started, I do have a couple housekeeping notes. Due to the amount of information to go over in a short amount of time, I have put everyone on mute. However, if you do have any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat box and I will address them during the webinar if time permits. If not, I will address your questions offline. Also, like all my training webinars, this webinar is being recorded and I will be sending out a follow-up email that will include the webinar recording as well as a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that I will be using. So to start the webinar, we're briefly going to review the past year's simplifications and consolidation initiatives that have been finalized and implemented for news media reporting. We'll then review the recent approved newspaper reporting category alignments for both US and Canada that resulted in a single uniform report for both divisions that will impact the September 21 filing period. Then I'm going to switch over to a live demo of the filing tool and then close out the webinar with a very brief demo of the Media Intelligence Center to showcase the location of your release AAM data. So over the past year, AAM and its board of directors, publishing and media buyer committees met and took a step back to see where they could simplify the reporting requirements for publishing clients while still maintaining that level of detail that advertisers and media buyers want and need. Within the past year, AAM announced several changes to the news media audits and reports that were aimed to simplify the rules, streamline reporting, reduce publisher record-keeping requirements, and modernize the audits while still delivering valuable planning data to our buyers. Some of those key initiatives that have already been implemented one is the bylaws and rules. Previously, they were very detailed and a bit cumbersome to go through. Now they are streamlined and very easy to follow. The next one has to do with reporting dates. This is how often you report your distribution with AAM. It used to be that you used to report your distribution on a quarterly basis. Effective with March 2021 filing, that was switched to a 6-month statement period. So instead of filing quarterly information with AAM, you file two six-month ending statements. We have 6-month ending September 30th and 6-month ending March 31st. US, in addition to filing their 6-month statement claims, distribution claims, they also will continue to file their zip code quarterly data. The next section has to do with reporting category alignment, and this is where a majority of our webinar will be spent. So previously, US and Canada distribution categories were slightly different. So effective with the September 21 filing period, US and Canada distribution categories are now unified. They're uniform. So what does that mean? It means instead of having a separate news media report for Canada versus US and a separate filing tool for Canada versus US, it is one daily format, a news media format for both US and Canada, and the same thing for the filing tool. Also, too, on the auditing side, the testing and non-paid distribution has been streamlined. In the past, to verify your free analyzed non-paid distribution, whether it was in a rack or a home delivery sampling program, we would do in-field testing and to verify distribution. Not saying that we don't do that anymore. We still do, but we really curtailed it because of technology. Technology allows us now more to review more information internally, look at your internal records, do phone calls, get affidavits to help streamline the testing of non-paid. So when you file your 6-month statement claims with AAM, there's some main components that you will be filing. The first one will be your 6-month distribution averages by frequency, by distribution type. Next is basic prices. Basic prices have been streamlined, and the only thing that are reported in basic prices is single copy prices. Now for uniform reporting, Canada will report basic prices, which is really only your single copy prices. So in the past, Basic prices for Canadian publications, it was optional. For uniform reporting, it is now going to be a requirement, but keep in mind, it's very simple. It's just reporting your single copy price for your daily and for your Saturday, Sunday product. Also, too, in the 6-month statement, you will be reporting any applicable explanatories. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of explanatories in the news media statements, but if you do have any further information you want to disclose for your distribution, you can report it in the explanatory section. And just as a reminder, US newspapers, not only are they filing their 6-month distribution claims, but they also will continue to report their zip code quarterly data information. All released information 6-month ending September or March, the news media reports will be included in the data report section, newspaper analyzer, and brand view profiles, all located in the Media Intelligence Center, which is also referred to as the MIC. The Media Intelligence Center is AAM's massive database that houses all our clients' released reports. So not only do you have access to your information, you have access to other publications' informations as well. And this allows you to be able to do year-over-year comparisons, do competitive analysis. But what's also great about our database is that buyers and advertisers access it on a daily basis to review your information. And whether they're going directly into the database or they're getting direct data feeds from us. So the next few slides, I'm going to spend talking about the reporting alignment between US and Canada. So the first section we're going to talk about is paid print distribution. And under individually paid circulation, we have individual subscriptions and single copy. As a refresher, just to let you know, for individual subscriptions and single copy, in order to qualify them, means the end consumer paid at least 1 penny for the newspaper, whether it's a subscription that they paid for or for a single copy. The next section we're talking about is paid business traveler distribution. So for uniform reporting, Canadian label changes were as follows. We added a subcategory called business/traveler paid circulation. I want to point out that we're not putting in new requirements. Truly, this is just a subheader. Previously, US has had this subheader for a few years. So for uniform reporting, we're just adding this subheader called business traveler paid circulation. The categories that are below business traveler, we have group subscriptions, and then we have hotel. Now, hotel for Canada has been changed to 2 different types of hotel distribution. We have hotel distribution guest refund and or hotel distribution room lobby copies. So for group subscriptions, to qualify for a group subscription means that the employer paid for the paper for their staff. The next 2 has to do with hotel distribution. So we have hotel distribution guest refund. What this means, the hotel guest was billed and paid for the newspaper. So that's the key. The hotel guest paid for the newspaper. And at the time of checkout, they were, or check-in, the guests were provided the option to decline the paper and given a refund. So that's hotel distribution guest refund. The next one is the more popular one, which is hotel distribution lobby copies. What this is the hotel paid for the copies for their guest. And they made it available for easy access to them, whether they're delivering directly to their hotel room or if it's in the lobby of the hotel. Now, for most Canadian publications who have had hotel distribution in the past, where you're going to be filing that for September 2021 filing would be hotel distribution lobby copies. Unless you specifically know that your program was set up where the hotel guest paid for the newspaper. If the hotel is paying for the newspaper, then you categorize it in hotel lobby copies. And I would say majority of the hotel distribution would be in hotel distribution lobby copy section. I like this next slide because it kind of summarizes what the changes were from March 21 filing period to September 21. Now, this is a snippet of a category map. And just to let you know that when I send a follow-up email with my webinar recording and a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, I will also include a copy of this category map. So what it states is that it has the previous categories prior to March 2021 filing and what it is like now for September 21 filing. So for paid circulation, we had individual subscriptions and single copy. If you go under September 21 filing period, you notice it didn't change. It's still the same. And it has individual subscriptions and single copy. But where the change did occur has to do with the subheader business traveler header. This will now be business traveler paid circulation. That header will be added. Group was changed to group subscriptions, and hotel was changed to 2 categories. You have hotel distribution guest refund, or you have hotel distribution room lobby copies. But keep in mind, if the hotel is paying for the paper, which majority of your hotel distribution is, you are going to file your hotel distribution under hotel distribution room lobby copies. So this is what it looks like in the filing tool. This is a quick snippet, and I will be doing a live demo of the filing tool. But under circulation data, it has paid circulation, and it has the available categories for you. Now, you will only report your distribution that's applicable to you. I do want to point out that when you file your information, you're going to be pulling a report from your system. So from your circulation system, you're going to be pulling a report. It's usually called Circulation Detail Report, AAM Circulation Detail, ABC Audit. But what this report will be, you're going to run it for April 1st through September 30th. And it's going to have your distribution by day, by distribution category. And then it will also give you a total distribution for the 6-month time period and also provide the number of days. So on your circulation record, a lot of people have the categories of carriers, motorettes, and mail, and every once in a while joint distribution. Just to let you know for AAM reporting that carriers, motorettes, mail, and joint distribution are all reported under individual subscriptions. For single copy sale reporting for AAM, it is made up of, it is made up of your dealers, your racks, counter sales, and returns are deducted. The next section we're going to be talking about is qualified print distribution. And the first 2 categories under qualified is home delivery address specific and home delivery market coverage. So for uniform reporting, household/delivered was changed to home delivery address specific. And then household/market coverage was changed to home delivery market coverage. As a refresher, home delivery address specific, it's your home delivery sampling program, and it's going to specific addresses. You know exactly the address you are delivering the non-paid distribution to. And there is an opt-out notice on the first day of delivery for your sampling program. The next type of home delivery sampling program is what we would refer to as home delivery market coverage. It is a saturation of a particular area, whether it's you're delivering papers to all the residential units in a neighborhood or a postal code or a town. You may not know exactly the exact address, but you do know that every unit in a particular area you are delivering the paper to, and you have route maps to prove that distribution. The next type of qualified distribution is public access. And for uniform reporting, public place access was changed to public access. As a refresher, retail business, distribution to apartments, and racks and other distribution all make up public access. So retail business, what this is, sometimes people refer to this as bulk sales. This is where a retail establishment is requesting papers to be available at their location for their customers. So for example, a restaurant requests the paper and then it's available for their guest. Next type of free distribution is distribution to apartments. So it's free delivery to apartment complexes. It's an easy access for the residents, and there is an opt-out instruction on each issue of the publication. The last one for public place is a catch-all. It's racks and other distribution. So that you have free distribution at a non-residential rack. That means if you have a rack at a bus stop that you control, you can count that. Or if you're handing out papers at a supermarket, or if you're handing them out at an event, that would be considered racks and other distribution. So all three types of this type of non-paid, analyzed non-paid distribution is all categorized in one category called public access. The last category under qualified print distribution is what's called other qualified. Now this one is for uniform reporting. We changed education and employee copies have now been collapsed and consolidated into one category called other qualified. So other qualified technically is made up of three components. You have employee copies, education copies, and university copies. So employee copies, these are copies of the paper that you have available for your staff, for independent contractors, for correspondence, etc. Now, I do want to point out that if an employee gets both your print edition and your digital edition, that's great, but you can only count them under either the print or the digital. So if an employee gets the free paper and they get both the print and the digital, you can count them under either print or digital, but not both. Education copies, what this is your NIE education program. It's going copies for students for classroom use. There's one copy per student, and the teacher has provided you an affidavit stating how many students they have in a classroom and for the time period they're using the newspaper for. Again, if that particular teacher asks for both print and digital, that's great. But for AAM reporting, you can only count that student under either print or digital, but not both. University copies, it's not as popular, but what this is, these are free papers that are available for college students and faculty at limited access on the campus. And you can only count the copies that they actually picked up. On the digital side for university copies, you can only count the ones they actually accessed. And there's a unique identifier for the college student or the faculty member. So as a summary for qualified print distribution, what happened for March 2021 versus now September 2021 reporting. Previously, we had household/delivered. Now has been changed to home delivery address specific. Household market coverage has been changed to home delivery market coverage. Public place access, minor label change, just changed to public access. Then we have education and employee. These two have been collapsed into one category called other qualified. So this is a snippet of what it's going to look like on your final report. And this is what it looks like in the filing tool. Next, we're going to be talking about digital distribution. We're going to talk about digital replica, and we're going to be talking about digital non-replica. So for uniform reporting, what was changed, we changed individual subscriptions to individual access. So under page circulation, we have individual access and single copy. So just like print qualifications, just the same, the end consumer paid at least 1 penny for the digital edition, whether it's a subscription or the single issue. Next is digital replica qualified. And for uniform reporting, we added single copy. Honestly, not a lot of people have this category, but we do have some publications that offer one free copy of their digital edition. And then the other one, we change education employee, just like we did in print, to one category called other qualified. So for individual access to qualify this means that the recipient registered and activates or downloads the edition, and the qualifications can be based on access. And you are maintaining log files to prove access for audit. And the qualified follows the exact same rules as print. And just keep in mind that for your NIE programs and the employee copies, if you have a student or employee that gets both, that's great, but you can only count them under print or digital, and you decide where you want to count them. So to summarize digital replica, For March 2021 reporting, we had individual subscriptions. That is now changed to individual access effective with the September 21 filing period. Single copy did not change. It is single copy. For those that had group and hotel, group is now put in individual access, and hotel, if there was any digital hotel, which is very rare, we could put in single copy. Then we have qualified distribution. Individual access stay the same. It's individual access. We did add single copy. And then education and employee, just like print, was consolidated into one category called other qualified. And this is how it looks like in the filing tool. And the next section is going to be talking about digital non-replica. And the main change that happened here is we are no longer going to be reporting separate categories under digital non-replica. Instead, we are only going to be reporting totals. So any individual categories you had under paid digital non-replica, that was consolidated into individual paid and to be total average paid circulation digital non-replica. If you had any individual categories under qualified, it has all been consolidated into the total, and you're just going to show total average qualified circulation digital non-replica. And I think it makes more sense when we look at the screen. When you have March 2021, we used to have under digital non-replica separate categories. We had individual subscriptions, single copy, group, and hotel. These all are collapsed into total average paid circulation digital non-replica. We are no longer showing these individual categories. So if you had all four of these categories, you add them up and you put them in the total line for total paid digital non-replica. Same holds true for qualified. Individual access and education and employees are collapsed and just reported into total average qualified digital non-replica. Next, we're going to talk about basic prices. As I had mentioned before, this used to be optional reporting for Canadian publications. However, effective with the September 21 reporting for uniform reporting, we are requiring Canadian publications to report their single copy price with their basic prices. But keep in mind, basic prices has been changed, and it is only now reporting single copy prices. You don't have to put your 1 year home delivery, your 1 year mail. Instead, it has been reduced just to show your single copy rate. So for daily, in my example here, we had $2. And then for Canada, your big paper is usually Saturdays. For US, it's Sunday. So for your Saturday edition, you would put your Saturday publication on the Saturday/weekend line. And in my example, it was $3. So this is a snippet of the filing tool that we're going to be going into our live demo. Once you've entered your information in the filing tool and it goes through the review process and is released, it gets then I do want to point out that when it comes time to filing, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact myself, my colleague Tim, Shelley, or Rebecca, and we're more than happy to help you out. I do want to also remind you that for the 6-month filing period for September 2021, for dailies, it's due October 15th, and for weeklies, it is due on October 22nd. So I am going to switch over to real quick to do a live demo of the filing tool, and then also very briefly to show you the Media Intelligence Center and how it functions as well. So bear with me as I log out of my PowerPoint presentation. I am now on AAM's main webpage, which is auditedmedia.com. And when you click on AAM's main website, there's a login. When you click login, you have two choices. You have the Media Intelligence Center, and then you have the Publishing Filing Center. The Publishing Filing Center is where you're going to be filing your distribution claims. Then when they are released, they go into the Media Intelligence Center. When you click on the Publishing Filing Center, it's going to ask for your member number, username, and password. If you're not sure what your credentials are to get into the filing tool, let us know, and we're more than happy to provide that information for you. I'm going to go into a demo mode, but the demo mode that I am using, it replicates exactly the actual filing tool. But I am using an actual publication. I'm going to be using the Calgary Herald. And I do want to point out that the numbers that I've inputted for the Calgary Herald are made up numbers. They are used for just demonstration purposes only. So I'm going to enter my credentials to get into the filing tool for Calgary Herald. I'm using my credentials to get in. And when I click enter, I have some more options on the right-hand side. For filing, we are interested in file circulation claims. And then you're going to click on September 2021 filing. And it takes a moment, but then when it pops up, it always pops up on the welcome page. There's actually some good information in the welcome page, in particular tutorials and guides. When you click on this link, there is a really good guide here in there called Data News Media Filing Tool Overview. Highly recommend using this for a refresher, or if you're new to filing. It goes step by step for each section in the filing tool, and it describes the information that you need to file. The filing tool, how it's set up, we have the filing questionnaire section, which is going to be your starting point. Then to enter your circulation claims is going to be under circulation data. And then the final step, review and submit. We do have two other sections in the filing tool. We have cross-media filing and brand view management. So cross-media filing is for those publications that have additional information that we are auditing for you, additional cross-media information, such as your website information, your social media, e-newsletter information. If you're filing any cross-media information with AAM, this is the section you would file it. Brand view management, what this is where you can update your brand view profile. Brand view is where you can customize your information and how it looks when your report is released into our database. You're able to customize it with an overview page where you can provide more information, describe about your publication, provide your media link, and then share it with your clients as well. But for today, we're just going to focus on these three main categories. We have filing questionnaire, enter your circulation data, and review and submit. So you always want to start with survey. The survey is going to be the starting point in the filing tool, and how you answer the questions in the filing tool and the survey page will dictate how it's set up in the circulation data section. So for example, please check the circulation categories you will be reporting. You have choices. You have print, digital replica, and non-replica. Some publications only have print and digital replica. In my example, though, I'm going to use all three. If I did not check digital non-replica, what would happen is that digital non-replica would not be reflected in the filing tool when it comes to the circulation data section. The next is going to be your advertising director and your contact information. So you want to make sure that this information is correct. If not, just highlight it and then type over and update it. Once you have your information updated and verified, you're going to check this box saying I have verified information below that is correct. So we want to make sure that you have updated your contact information. Each section in the filing tool has two save features. We have save and save and continue. And I say this with all my filing webinars. If you get anything out of my filing webinar, make sure you save and save often. We are all doing multitasking when we're doing stuff, especially when we're entering information for the filing tool. So just make sure that you save and save often each section in the filing tool. The filing tool has a tendency to time out after a few minutes of inactivity. So just make sure you save. If I click on save, if you notice right now, it says, please confirm that the content information is correct by confirmation checkbox. So what does that mean? It means this verification right here. I have verified all information shown below to be correct. Check the box and then click save. And then it'll say successfully saved. The other save feature would be save and continue. Save and continue saves your information, and then it goes into the next section in the filing tool. The next section we have is the main edition pub plan. This main section here, main edition pub plan, is mainly for you to double check. So when you're pulling your circulation records, make sure you're pulling them for April 1st to September 30th. That is the time period for the 6-month ending statement. However, we do have some publications that are on a fiscal calendar instead of a regular calendar. And if that's the case, use the red calendar box to change your start date and then the end date. The next section is publishing plan. Now, there's nothing for you to do here, but you do want to double check that we had the frequencies correct for you. Now, for my example, the Calgary Herald, we have it publishing 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, but not Sunday. If the Calgary Herald all of a sudden added Sunday, well, then they would contact us to let us know, and then we can update the filing tool to reflect 7 days versus the 6. The next section has to do with non-publishing days. Non-publishing days means you just did not publish. A lot common, you just didn't publish on a particular holiday, for example. If you have any non-publishing days, click the plus icon, and then you're going to use the red calendar box to add the date at your non-publishing day. If, for example, oh, you know what, we actually did publish 9/27, my mistake, and you go ahead and use the red X to delete it. The other section is omitted days. Omitted days means you did publish, but the circulation distribution was so low that you don't want to report it. And it's usually because of inclement weather. So if there was a really nasty snowstorm and you only got part of the paper out, you couldn't get it to all your delivery routes, you can omit that particular day. And the rule is, if you compare in this example, my omitted day was September 18th. If September 18th was 5% less than the previous corresponding day, which in this case would be Saturday, September 11th, you can omit that day. The rule also states, though, for omitted days, you can omit up to 10 days per year. The next section is affiliated pub plan. This particular example does not have any affiliated publications. An affiliated publication is like a weekly product that you're reporting, or in addition to your main product or your TMC product. But for my example, we're going to skip that. Reconciliation of days. In this one, you just nothing to do here, but it's a good double check. So go ahead and click on the title. And by doing that, it expands the box and shows you the net days the filing tool is going to use to calculate your averages. So for example, Saturday, there was a possible 26 Saturdays in the 6-month time period. It took into account the 2 omitted days and 1 non-publishing day to net it down to 23. These net days should match what's in your circulation report. If not, go back to the main edition pub plan and then either add or subtract a non-publishing day or omitted day. Now we're into the fun part where you get to enter in your circulation information. So when you enter circulation information in here, you want to make sure you're entering the net totals, not averages. Because what's going to happen is the filing tool is going to take this 50,000 and divide it by the number of days for that frequency. So you want to make sure that you're putting net totals, not averages. Also, too, single copy sales is you're deducting returns. And we did have some minor label changes that we went over in our PowerPoint presentation, but if you want a refresher on what those are, if you click on it says for complete reporting alignment of label changes. You click on this link and click on Canada. It will bring up the category map. The next section of the filing tool is basic prices. So this is a reminder for uniform reporting. And it is now a requirement to report basic prices, but keep in mind it is only reporting your single copy price. So your single copy for your daily and your single copy price for your Saturday, Sunday product. We have explanatories. Honestly, there's not really a whole lot of explanatories that I usually see in the news media statement. However, if you did want to explain a particular distribution category, you certainly can. You can click on add explanatory and it gives you the different options. If you don't see the option in there, we always have this miscellaneous. But like I said, usually there's not a whole lot of explanatory. Now that you've entered your circulation, you're in the home stretch. So we're going to go into review and submit. Go into review alerts. You want to make sure that there's no error messages noted. If there were, just go back into the particular section that it's saying there is an error. Upload image. Mainly what this is used for is if the logo of your publication. So for example, Calgary Herald, this is the logo we have on file, but they have uploaded, if they had changed their logo, that is where you're going to want to go ahead and upload it here in this particular section, the filing tool, upload images. And we ask that you upload either a TIFF or in a JPEG format. Otherwise, we're just going to use what we have on file. Publisher comments. These are comments that are not printed on your document, but they're mainly used for communication with us. If there's major changes in your distribution, if you added a new category or added new routes, and that's why your distribution spiked, just add a comment here. If everything is status quo, you don't need to add a comment. But just to let you know is that once your statement is submitted to AAM, it does go through a review process. And our reviewers will look at your information that you submitted, compare it to the previous statement that we had on file, which would be March 2021. And if we notice major fluctuations in distribution or categories you're not reporting, we will contact you just to double check. Next is view data. View data section is your proof. We do not send out hard copies of the document for proof, but we do have you in the filing tool to look at the information before you send it and also before it gets released. So at any point in time, once you enter circulation and you want to take a look at what it looks like, if you click on net circulation, this is what you've entered. The one I really like though is circulation detail calculated averages, because this shows you how the filing tool calculated your averages. So if you notice Saturday, I had 650,000. It took that 650,000 divided by the number of days for Saturday to come up with my average of 28,000. But if you look at Monday and Tuesday, it's like, ooh, that's only 2,000. What happened there? Well, I put in averages and not the actual number. So I would have to go back into the circulation data section to update. So view data truly is your proof. Also too, there's this print icon. When you click on the print icon, you can print it out or save it as a PDF. Highly recommend that you print it or save it as a PDF, because once your statement is released, you will not have access to the information that you've entered in the filing tool. So it's just good to have on file. Next, once you're satisfied with everything, you're in the final stage. You're going to put your name, your title, check the box for your electronic signature, and then click submit. So that's the filing tool in a nutshell. I know we are running a little long on time, but I do want to show you real briefly AAM's, the Media Intelligence Center. And so I'm going into AAM's main website, going into login, and going into Media Intelligence Center. Do want to point out that the login credentials for the Media Intelligence Center are different than the filing tool. So if you're unsure what your Media Intelligence Center credentials are, let us know and we can provide that for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click sign in. And this houses all our clients' release documentation from newspapers, magazines, business pubs, and farms. You can filter it by checking the box for newspapers. You can filter it even further by going into country and just selecting Canada. However, if you just really wanted just a quick look at where your release statement is, I recommend doing the search by bar. Just start typing in the title of your publication and it'll pop up. Click on Calgary. In my example, I'm going to click on Calgary Herald and I'm going to click on the title. And when I click on the title, it's going to bring me the report library section, and it has all the previous release publisher statement and quarterly data reports and audit report. So I just wanted to show you real briefly how you can access your information once it's released. Just due to time, we don't have a lot of time to go in further information about the Media Intelligence Center, but there is a wealth of information you can get out of there. You can do competitive analysis, year-over-year review. So under analysis and training section on our main webpage and click on training, I highly recommend this webinar. My colleague Jenny Anderson is going to be conducting on November 16th. It's the Master the Newspaper Analyzer. And this will go into depth of the Media Intelligence Center and the different reports you can pull and analyze for newspapers. So oops. So with that, we went through a lot of information in a short amount of time. But I do want to point out that if you do have any questions, feel free to contact myself or my colleagues, Tim, Shelley, Rebecca, and we're more than happy to help you out. So with that, I'm going to end the webinar. So thank you so much for attending today's webinar, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Oh, let's see. I do have a quick question here. It says, what do we do if newspaper has two basic prices listed? Appear to be only two options. So it's your main basic price for the, so single copy, it's the main daily, the most majority one that you would have for daily is the one you would report. If you do have any further questions, just contact me and then we'll go through them together. Again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.